Hello, this is Brenda Power Medicine Woman, and it is bloody hot in here. If you are from the US, then you understand that Fahrenheit, it is 95 degrees in here. Can't have the fan on because then you wouldn't be able to hear my voice. So if you're in Australia, then it's 35 Fahrenheit. So anyway, it's very hot. This is my second time doing this live. And what I want to do is I want to find my footing. What does this mean? Well, I know I want to offer my services to you at a very good, decent price. I want you to get to know me. I want to be able to start doing the purpose that I came here to do. When I was in the U.S., is the volume on? Can anybody hear me? First, let's just check the audio. Can you hear me? Anybody? So feedback is a must. There's no sense of talking if nobody can hear you. All right, so I'll type it in. Can anyone hear me? Okay. It is very tricky when you're learning how to do stuff. Oh, thank you very much for replying. And when you do live radio, especially when you're at home, you have these boards that you have to know what you're doing. There's these boards that you got to check everything and yet sound professional. But I was doing it with YouTube and making my videos and being online, it was quite interesting because I could do it after a while. It was just boom, 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 boom. Now, it was nice. I had a co-host with me. And some of you may remember her as Jen Toffel from Medicine Woman Reveal. I still do believe in Medicine Woman Reveal. I believe that's the purpose. But I had a big, huge path switch come into my life. And it said that I am to uproot everything that I knew. And I am to move in another direction. So it's like picking up your tracks, turning it, and landing. It's all about trust and faith. With spirituality, you have a bumpy road sometimes, but this depends on if you have tools. Now, I like to call them resolution tools, but people refer to them as healing tools. Those tools help me in such a way when my head would be like, oh, overthinking, because we have 41 thoughts per minute. And when we have our thoughts, out of those 41, are the same thoughts about the same topic, it becomes very unclear of what it is that you really need to do. Because it's called high beta. It means that your brain is in different brain waves, but this is very high, which then starts to cut out your connection to spirit. It stops you from allowing yourself to know how to listen to that soul part of you, that listen to that higher self part of you. And it's very important that you learn how to hear, how to connect, how to be. You're not just human. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. So what I'd like to do is have the first half hour or so to talk about whatever it is Spirit wants to talk about. And I'll begin to download in a minute. That is Spirit Guides. It's from the bandwidth, the reconnection bandwidth. It's strands, it's DNA, it's strings, it's dimensions. It's talking to your loved ones, talking to guides. It's a very high frequency, so that it helps you understand that it's coming from a very loving place. What I want to do at the end, which I don't know if I'm going to go for an hour and a half, because this, again, was very spontaneous about me doing this. At the end of the show, what I want to be able to do is how do I put this? I want my good friend Lenny, or Lenore, so say hello to Lenore, and she's the moderator that helps me to keep up with what is going on because, again, I'm not used to this format. So every time you share, okay, you share this link. Every time you share, she will write down your name and put it in what's called a hope box. Now, if she can upload that photo for you, that would be great. And I haven't quite learned how to do certain things yet. One of the things that I want to be able to do is to pin stuff, but I'll get there in a minute. So again, for this particular program, I just want you to be able to, like my page. It's Medicine Woman, I think, Brenda. I remember now. Everything's changing. All my websites are changing. But if you just hit share, and every time you share, your name goes into a box. And then towards the end of the hour or half hour, however long Spirit wants to talk, then Lenny will reach in and she'll, or have her daughter or somebody will reach in and grab one name. And I don't know, depending on the time, we may end up doing up to 3 free readings. Now, I can't remember. I think they're like, maybe 5 or 7 minutes long. And then and one of them, it can be longer. I haven't really sat down. We haven't really done a meeting to get everything so it's, in place. The most important part is that you're able to hear me. And again, the more you share, the more your name goes in the box. So, because if these Facebook's live thing doesn't take off, then I will, won't feel that this is part of the path and the purpose. When I was in Michigan, in the U.S., I taught classes, and I told you a little bit about this before. So in 2003, I taught classes, and it was great. I was scared because Spirit told me it was very important to get out there and do them. Now, I didn't really have a lot of background in what it is to teach, but Spirit did set me up to learn from teachers. And I didn't realize that. So the more you start to hear from Spirit and you put that information on the shelf, and I teach you all of these empowerment through enlightenment words so that you can learn to live as an ascended spiritual human. Now, what does that mean? It means that you need to heal your shit that says, I'm human, and that's all I am. You're so much more than that. What's amazing is when our emotions, and depends on who you're talking to, they believe that your emotions have nothing to do with your life. And that always surprised me because people complain about mental health. People display so many issues, and yet it's only about, oh, let's do certain things. Let's take care of only this. Now, if you understand what I'm talking about, great. And, okay, so I see a shared, just to let you know, from Rihanna. So that's good. That means the name gets in the box. And the more you share, your name goes into the hope box. That's hope, opportunity, prosperity, and enlightenment. And this is a box that I'm about knowledge. But when the name is drawn out, I will give you a reading. And this reading can be based on some type of issues you have in your life. I don't understand why this is repeating. I see a pattern in my life. For those of you don't know why you've been dumped, or you don't know why you feel so sad. And my job is to see energy. And I see cords that go out to your past. And as they are hooked to your past, it creates patterns and programs in the now. So when you look inside, you have an internal representation of the external. Then what happens is then your past gets placed in the future, but which is now. So you have active triggers. What happens then is you're just playing out a program. How do these active triggers really, how do they really work? Well, as I get my dissertation done, I'm learning about what is reality. And the biggest thing is that we make emotional chemical peptides. We do it all the time. And how you know when you're making one or an emotion or a chemical peptide is active is that you have 41 thoughts per minute. And out of those 41 thoughts, if you have 40 thoughts that are just about that subject, then you're not going to be able to think your way out of a paper bag, because 80% of the blood will leave your forebrain, this frontal lobe that creates reality, and goes down into your fight and flight, which is your arms and your legs, and you'll either want to fight or hide or freeze or run away. We don't realize it. We think, oh, we see a character running away, we see a character freezing, we see a character, fighting. But it can be as simple as shutting down, not saying anything. If it becomes a pattern in your world, then you can disrupt the way that you want to have your future, the way you want to have your now. So it's very, very important to understand what is happening. So if you really are into spirituality, then I highly suggest that you pay attention, because I have been asked many times, how did I get to where I am? Somebody must have seen a difference. And I would say yes. I look at life in a completely different way. I understand life in a completely different way. I'm still human and I still react, but not as dramatic like I used to. I smash paradigms. I don't follow certain things that others do. I can understand and respect where they are, but it depends on what you want in life. If your life is so great, then don't change a thing. But if you're looking at your life saying, I want, then look at your programs. What emotions, what thought patterns? Because each of those emotions and thought patterns are connected to your energy systems that are in your body. And those energy systems are known as meridians and chakras and auras. And all you need to know is that, what emotionally am I feeling? What crappy thoughts am I thinking? Why am I so headstrong about something that I don't care about? Or why? Again, it's important to understand that you think and you feel. And when I mean feel, it's not the sensation per se. It's an emotional feeling. We'll get into how when your physical body says, oh, I just can't. That is a sensation just a little bit different than emotions, but they can be connected. And you can find out what that pattern is, because your body has taken your will, or you've given it voluntarily, because you believed in something. You said, this is how it's going to be. And this is how it's going to be. And it's based on those chemical peptides. Now, we have peptides, hormones. Okay? And chemical peptides is the chemical process that happens into our bodies. But if you can have happy ones and you can have sad ones. So the negative ones is actually what controls your life. So the chemical peptides, Candace Pert, P-E-R-T, she had, and I think it's Molecules in Motion, but she found out that we have tons and tons of emotions, and they're all over. Our receptors are everywhere. And you go into energy medicine, and you go into learning, energy medicine is in Donna Eden's information. You look into the acupuncture world or the Chinese medicine world. You learn about organs and all of that, emotions. And so it's important to understand that when I'm happy, I'm creating all those hormones, serotonin and all of that, and they're pumping through my veins, and it's all so good. And normally you wouldn't want to stop those, but we don't usually make enough of those. Everybody knows what it feels like to be off. We run a particular trait, which is every time we get really stressed, we will pick about out of the elements, we'll pick one of the 5. You have, and of course, right now I just feel an incoming information that's a disruptor as I want to talk. And I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's all good. It's a big hefty group of energy coming in. So that'll interfere, just to let you know, as I'm beginning to get information, other things will come through. So the elements, and like in Chinese medicine, the element of metal, and 2 meridians are hooked into the metal element, and that's lung and large intestine. Lung has everything to do with grief, and large intestine is about dogma or letting go. What's important to understand when I say lung meridian or lung, it is if that meridian, in this case, is lung, starts like right here, goes up and around and comes off the thumb. And there's a beginning and an end to the meridian. And there's points along the meridian, okay? And there's important points that really can help a person physically feel better. But at the same time, that meridian is hooked into the lung meridian. It's hooked into the lung, the physical. But that lung, as much gathering of information, I mean, I've got tons of information, books and stuff that I've gathered information from. It's grief. It's remorse, sadness, yearning, cloudy thinking, anguish, sorrow, taking the blame. The light is just so bright in here. Confusion, self-abuse, overcompensation, self-imposed limitations. Those are huge. People don't even know they put self-imposed limitations on themselves. A compulsion, silent brooding. That's huge. And not. Usually everything that's to do with a not. I'm not going to do this. Somehow lingers back to the lung. And I'm just going to say, every time you share, your name goes into a box. And for the drawing, it's the hope box. And at the end, we will draw a name or two to do a free reading. So again, share, and share some more. I am warm. Okay. Anything I've said right now that you think that you want me to describe or to go a little bit further on? Because I know when information comes in, they can be very overwhelming. Used to love to do my live radio shows, and people would call in, and then we would do readings and such. But whatever this format's going to be, we'll see. The timing, I don't really know a lot of people over here in Australia or the time zones of who actually can hear me at this time. But we will find the perfect time to do these things. But it's right now it's spontaneous. But I will get more organized. And so please just keep putting in your sharing away. Now, what's important to understand is what kind of a reader am I? Most people want to know about their future. Well, pretty much your future is created from your past. If you're going to have a future that is going to be one that you think you want, you have to learn how to intentionally focus and go after it. And it's the unknown that makes it come to be alive. It is all of those steps that have failures of going, oh, I failed. It isn't about failure. It is, just being redirected because it's not supposed to go down that road, or I need more information to be able to do this. So you keep going back and forth to where it is you need to be. And then all of a sudden, everything just starts lining up. The universe is always conspiring to help you. When you believe it's expiring or conspiring against you, that is your programs. That's what my job is to find out what programs are running. And when I'm going through, I'm looking at your energy. I'm like, oh, look at this. This here sets in grief in your lung. There are many healing tools. And one of those is to get the grief gone. If you don't want my services, then I will tell you to go and handle the grief the way you know how. Sometimes that doesn't work for people. Or use emotional freedom technique. And that's a really good one. But most people don't realize you need to put on a scale from 0 to 10. And then you tap it all the way down to 0. Then there's hope therapy, which is using your pulse points on your wrist and using the oh my God points, and you'll hold in a certain position, so left or right wrist, and then you're going to hold which position, 1, 2, or 3, and then you're going to push in soft or deep, and then you hold your forehead and the hairline and this point up here. This one helps with emotions. This helps chemical process the chemical peptides. This brings your blood back up to the forebrain, which then helps calm down that chemical peptide that causes the 41 thoughts per minute to be all about that issue. So you're like, and you're holding that position and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a big fat 10. Then what happens is that everything's working, energy is moving, you're thinking about it, and all of a sudden the 41 thoughts per minute of that issue is now coming down to 30, and then slowly down to 15, and slowly down to, and eventually we want it down to 0. We don't have to think about it. And you go like, I don't really feel a charge off that when I think about it. I'm not automatically thinking about it. I don't have to go there. And that tells me that the emotion of the chemical peptide has calmed and resolved, and that the homeostasis has started to return to normal. And then what happens is that you're able to think, because the energies of the brain are starting to balance, and then you can start listening to your spiritual self of going, oh yeah, and then you can think your way to the paper bag. You start to get answers that you couldn't get just moments before. So a lot of people will go, well, what happened? What just happened? I was so angry. Now, where did it go? And my question was, do you want it back? And they're like, no. I'm like, good. The natural process of what you did actually helped you calm down, to heal, and to move in the right direction. Okay. So someone asked me, where am I located? Now, I'm in South Australia, in Adelaide. I can do Facebook Messenger so that you can see me like this, which don't have to be live. And I do those with, how do you want to put it? I don't usually use Skype as much. If I'm using this machine, I can, but so the clients don't have to be present. They don't have to come to my home unless they want to. And sometimes they would prefer to do it like this. Now, when you do come to my home, I can muscle test you. A simple process of hand out, thumb down, and so then you stay firm as I push, okay? You don't go limp noodle or arm like that. No, you be nice and strong. And then we access the electromagnetic energy. If it's not supporting you, your arm will go weak. And if it is supporting you, you'll stay strong. We can find out more detailed of what it is that you want, your soul wants, what your body wants. And if you're determined that you're saying you want to heal something and a part of you don't, then that becomes what you call a conflict. And when you don't even understand that you have a conflict, it'll be that you're talking spirituality and then yet you're condemning somebody and living in the human field. So you got two sides of yourself that you don't even know because they're not communicating together. So let me just check and click here. Yeah, and most people don't even realize why you have, people don't pay attention to their emotions except for they know that they're angry. They know that they think that's all that life has to offer and that you just have to learn to get over it. And that's not always the case. And when, I'm just going to read this about something Pamela said. It says, when family doesn't understand the path I'm on, how does one deal with the negative crap thrown in order to guilt me? Okay, now I wouldn't even read the rest of that. Just give me a second. Regardless, They are an aspect, a program of you. They are your mirror. Your inner world creates your outer world. Anything and all things that you've accumulated while you're in the womb, things that you don't even remember how life was, all accumulate to how you react, how you respond, how you believe in this moment, in this particular moment. Now, if you believe in past lives, your soulful lives, all the lives that your soul lived, are going to play an influence on this. When you're on your path, you were born to stand out in that family. It's so hard to seem to believe, but if you stand back, it's not about being better than anybody else, but just to stand back. And you're not the victim. In this day and age, you're a spiritual warrior, which means you're going to be taking a different road and you're going to help change the paradigm. You have to be okay to lose your family and friends because they have to be at a certain mindset, a certain perception in order to hear you. I don't care how many times you think you can explain yourself or prove yourself. If they're not at that wavelength, they'll never hear you. It's like when I'm talking to spirit, I have that channel open. Sometimes I don't, but I can hear them. Now, when I had a crisis in my life, I shut that down. They could still contact me, but I could not hear them because my head was in a different headspace. My whole world was in a different headspace. So you got to be brave enough. And you need to use healing tools, lots and lots of healing tools, because your human side's going, oh my God, did I? And you'll start feeling guilty. You have all of these bad things. And anything out here is all of the things that your soul wants you to heal. You may be tied into when they give you that look and you're like, you bitch. Okay. It created a reaction in you. It created a twang. And again, you're going to hear me say words like twang. It created a bitch slap that happened at you. That's telling you how attached you are. The more attached you are, the more the chemical peptide reaction is going to occur. Their job is not to understand you. Your job is to understand yourself and your path. And you have to be strong into finding your voice, following your heart, listening with intuition, and allowing yourself to be guided by the true nature of who you are. Now, your first chakra is that you're going to survive. And you're going to have different friendships. Why are we tying ourselves up to people that reject us? Because if you ever watch the movie, What About Steve? Okay, she was running around after Steve. And in her hometown, nobody can understand her. The girl in the red boots, oh my God. But she found her people. She found her tribe. That's what we're supposed to do, is find our tribe. We still love them. Okay, so let's go to the next part. How does one deal with the negative crap thrown in order to guilt me? Well, first of all, you have to have some form of attachment to feel their guilt. And you can use emotional freedom technique. You can connect with me. And for instance, part of this, I will usually choose one person that I feel that I need to give a little bit more information on. Oh, I made it. How did I do that? I made my pendulum disappear. Golly. Yeah, like you guys need to see me do this. Okay. I'm just going to look at Pamela real quick. And the thing is that why? Why did you project them to throw negative crap at you? And it's because you have a built-in reaction that needs to be dismantled. It is part of your twang. It's part of your trigger. And that built-in reaction is to go into panic. And I hear they're saying it's because that's how they used to correct you. And it's part of the correcting process. I would end up using hope therapy to help you heal that you feel attacked. You know what being attacked is, and you can feel it. So I would have you do hope therapy, hold a certain spot, and then I would have you sit there and put on a scale from 0 to 10, going, and then just watch it heal and go all the way down. Now, when people tell you you're going to hell, it's because they are so programmed to believe that is the only way, the right way. And they are taught to live in fear. And if they were to actually get out in the world and travel and meet different people, cultures, especially when you go over to different religions that like Hindu, and you start to learn these concepts, and it's about going within. And when you begin to connect up, it starts to make sense to you. There's this inner knowing. And when that happens, you don't have to keep following the old paradigm. Because you could even look into Swedenborg and religion. And their definition of what heaven and hell is a state of mind. Every day, people make more hell than they do heaven. And I will tell you that it is a choice. And the more hell that you're in, the more you keep saying that you have to accept this. And the more that you're attached to a particular emotion. When you begin to disrupt that pattern, disrupt that chemical peptide, disrupt it. And I'm talking about using of actual healing tool, resolution tools, not one, but many. I used to be so scared of public speaking that neuro-linguistic programming, and I did timeline therapy by Dr. Tad James. And I did it. And the next thing you know, why in the world did I even need to be scared? I believed in that sphere so much that I made it my life. I looked through that lens. But when I dissolved that chemical peptide, when I dissolved those pictures that I took my eyes and with my ears, and how I took it into my physical body of embarrassment or shame, and yes, you can heal out guilt. And what's nice is that you do feel zero guilt. But you can change those mirrors. And once you begin to change those mirrors, people will begin to zag and other people will zag. And yes, they may be family, but you don't have to stick your hand back in the fire. You can be pleasant, you can be kind, but you don't have to please them. Hope that makes sense. Very important that, this can be done. Well, when it comes time to begin your life, you've got to decide, what kind of environment do you have? Is it supporting? No? Then get strong. Say, hell, I'm done with this. And go out and start creating your life. What does that mean? Well, you have got to find something that you love. And as you start to find what you love and you are grateful for that, then the next piece, you have to train yourself to become more witnessing of the good stuff. When good things happen, you need to be grateful. You need to train yourself going, oh, there's a clue. Oh, that was for me. Because then you're learning to tune into the language of the universe. And more information will start to pop up. Then you have to decide, is this part of my tribe? These people that are bringing me down, are they part of my tribe? Do I want to feel like crap every day? They're so great to me, but yet they stab me in the back. You can't keep defending them. If you do, then what you're saying, okay, please treat me like shit some more because I don't think I can get any other friends than you. But that's not true. I come from another place and I had no friends. And it's like, all right, so I threw out my golden lasso and I made a video on that, and I was able to scoop up 2 people, many, but 2 that have come into my life. And they're there now. Sarah and Lenny, hello. And there's somebody from Michigan. Hello, Jennifer. And again, when you like and share, your name gets to be put into a box. So it's important that you start to learn and you grow and you move. And when you do, you're going to find out stuff that you thought you believed, you no longer believe in. That's okay. And it's okay that they do so. You can respect them. You can let them be. You know you don't fit into their world. Why are you trying to cut yourself up and to fit in their box? Family gatherings. Okay. That's fine. You don't have to commit to everything, but just allow yourself to do it every now and then. Learn what you need to learn. Find any triggers, any twangs, and then go heal that out. Don't waste it. But again, you can either hide your voice or find your voice. I had people that deliberately shut me down in my family groups because, don't let her talk, because that we don't believe in that. Well, they're not my tribe. They may be blood related, but they're not my tribe. And then I've gone to social events that I did it because the people that were hosting, I love them dearly. And they accepted me for who I am. And I hung out and talked, but I didn't shove my stuff down their throat. They didn't shove it down mine. And I talk like a human. And sometimes I had to talk a little bit more humanistic than spiritual. And that's okay. Because soon that'll be done. And then I walk away with what I need to. Oh, thank you for the sweetness, Jennifer. So, again, it's so important that you begin to understand that as you wake up and you're trying to find your purpose is that you got to first be unafraid to like something and to stand for it. And then you need to be consistent about it. And you need to learn more about it and not disregard things. You can look at everybody else and going, well, why did you disregard that person? You don't know nothing about that information. But they're sitting there with their so-called expert self that has no information about it. Just remember, consider the source. You don't have to listen to them. You can go out. We've got Google. Thank God for Google. We've got the universe to say, hey, help me learn this. The universe is like, awesome. Just like grace and ease. And then when the information comes in, you start to learn and you grow. Did I know I was going to be in this spot? Never. Not at all. And when I got here to this point, I looked back and I thought, gosh, I remember when I was first starting, I'll never be able to make it 10 years from now. Or they'll say, what are you doing in 5 years? I couldn't even think about it. What would I be doing in 5 years? I don't know. But the main thing is you start to thrive in your life. You don't thrive for this person, this person, this person, and this person, because they don't really give a shit. They're wrapped into their little world. And when you start to do what you want to do, then you'll hear them complain. Because they don't want you to leave their little box, their little world of who you are to them. How dare you change? Because I can't cope and handle. You got to be this person that I can yell at, or this person that I can lean on, and this person that I can. And you're like, but I have a life too. And you can grow with me. But if they don't want to, that's their choice. But don't give up on yours. And once you start to like something, go for it. Go for it. And people are going to be naysayers. Well, those is all your fears projected out. And this person's supposed to show you. That soul over there raised their hand and says, I'm going to be the asshole today to tell you I don't like where you're at. And again, these are all your fears. Get in there and heal your shit. Get in there and heal that. Those emotional chemical peptides are supposed to lock in what you decided. And most of the time it's at a young age. Like most people are used to having awkwardness. When you're a baby, everything's out here. And the moment you start to notice people, you're looking at me? Huh? What? Really? Then you become a little bit self-conscious, or like I will watch little kids that have to go potty and they'll run around the corner. And there's a part of them that just wants to do it in private, oh God. And there's another adult. What are you doing? You're like, none of your business. And there's a party that's like, I just want this moment to myself. And you have to understand that they just, want a little privacy. Sometimes kids want to go a little too far and say, oh, what are these matches? Sure. But no, sometimes it's just, they just want that private time. And you part of you just need to sit back and just watch, because they're amazing when you begin to watch children explore and think and imagine. Yeah. Someone says, so somewhere in the books, it's okay to let go and not look back. Let me ask you a question. Why isn't it okay? Yes, it's okay. Depends on whose book you are following, because the answers lie within your heart. I have family members. When I decided to follow my path switch even further than where I was, and I decided, okay, I'm going to move. They formed a hate club. And I go, I don't understand why. You say you love me, but you have a hate club. You've got 4 or 5 members that really just hate me because I broke the rules. Wait a minute, who wrote them? You or me? I love them and I respect their choice, because I teach this to people that you have to be okay to lose your family and friends. And you'll see how human you are, because you're like, oh my God, I remember when they used to be so nice. Oh, I regret doing, you know what? They're just patterns and programs you need to begin to heal and to get under control, because they are not you. They are a lens. And it's all of your fears. And usually it'll be when you were 2 or 3, when you started to venture out and I couldn't do it. If that makes sense. Okay. So there's only a few minutes, 5 people left. I will see, hopefully, those that have decided to have their share and put their name in the box. I'll have Lenny draw one. And when she does, I'll call your name. If your name is there, or if you're there, then let us know. I'm not very good with names. Last name is Stephanie. First name is what? Jamesa? Starts with a Jamesa. Stephanie. And if you're there, then we will do a read. And then I'll ask my moderator, how long did we decide for? Oh, come on. Now it's not going to move. Oh. My mouth's hanging out. What? All right, we'll give this person, Stephan, last name is Stephanie. If you're there, then we can also probably type your name in if you're there, because I'm not very good with, what do you call it? With pronunciation. Okay. How old are they? Well, sometimes, again, when the person doesn't have the level of consciousness to understand you. You don't have to. And if you love them, then you will sit there and you will communicate with them and then just accept where they are. But you have to still be proud to live your life. And it's their issue. They'll either grow with you or they won't. There's a lot of people that just don't want to, and you can love them. But if you're not getting this love back, you still have to be okay to let yourself do this. And the only way I would have to say is that you heal an issue that stops you from, and the main one is feeling discouraged. If you're constantly feeling discouraged from this person, then I would highly heal that out so that you can stop hearing that. You can have a different lens to look through. Because I know some people that love me, and I'll swear to God that they may be against me, because it's like, why are you acting that way? And then I'll look and it'll be a twang and be, oh, yeah, this is my take on how they're talking. And so if I change my perspective on how they're talking, I may be able to find some inspiration in what they're really saying. And usually then I'll take it in and I'll say something in that inspirational way. And they're like, oh, you hear me. And I'm still going to be myself. But it's learning how to talk. Okay, so yeah, I just started doing these live. All right, now, Lenny, this person is not here. Then we go to the next person. Is that correct? And I'm just going to type real quick. So then that next, we'll just move on because time's important. And I'll find out if that's correct. Hello. So I like to talk. Time can go by quite fast. I used to do 2-hour live radio shows. You're welcome, Pamela. And again, I'll choose sometimes just one person to do a whole read on, so you can get the grip of what it is I talk about, what it is I do. We haven't even done healing for her yet. Okay, so she pulled up a name, and it is Rihanna. Now, what I'm going to do, again, how many minutes did we say we want to do it for? So I can set my little timer. Wait back from Lenny here. We're going to find our footing. We're going to find out what works and doesn't. And I've chose tonight we're going to choose like 3 people to do a read for. As long as you liked and shared, your name got into the hope box, which is the health, opportunity, prosperity, enlightenment, that ability to choose whether you want your information to be live. And Lenny, what time length did we choose? And so you can decide what your question, if you have a question, if there's something that's burning, if it is, or I can just get in there and start jumping in. Now, in the beginning, we can just do, and the first person's going to get 7 minutes. We can do just a read, or we can do a healing. Now, how can I, do a healing if I can't see you? Well, I'm going to trust that you're doing it, and I'm going to feel it. And I can tell if the number is high or too low, because we are sharing a space in this bandwidth. When we do that, then we get connected in. Rihanna's here, and Rihanna says that what comes, comes. Okay, so you get 7 minutes, and here we go. Sometimes I don't like what I have to say, but you have to understand. So Lenny, get ready, because I'm going to have you look up certain words, and then you're going to put the definition up on the thing. Is that okay? Hopefully Lenny heard me. And there's you have to hold yourself in a certain position to have power. And we want to learn how to have personal power, how to use that personal power. But in order for you to survive in the type of life that you've had up to this point, is that you've had to learn from other people in your world. And you probably could think back about this type of person in your life. But in your life, have you had anybody that always showed that energy of lofty or loftiness? It is somebody that's, thinks they're better, or they have to be high. Oh, yes, above everybody else. I'm smarter than you. I understand. It's part of that. Oh my God, what is that called? So Lenny will look up loftiness and then she'll put it on there. But alpha, that's it. Loftiness, Lenny, or lofty. And when these people are doing it on a humanistic level, that is not without the higher self, then what happens is that they look like they're cocky instead of confident. They look like they could bite you instead of feeling like they could be a leader. So when you think of lofty, and so think about anybody in your life that has to feel like they're superior than another in order to keep the upper foot or the upper hand, not foot. You just have to wait for the other shoe to drop. That's probably what they're saying. So Lenny, if you could, Rihanna, if you look, Lenny has posted what it means. And again, an emotion, it's not just, that it's high above, but it's a good example of the palm trees. It believes it's above. And loftiness, and the case of trying to, you have to exert it when you feel like when people are trying to make you feel helpless. So lofty is your safety guard. It is your safety net, because people sometimes make you feel like you're helpless. Now, this helplessness lens is part of an automatic response, to feel helpless. Now, that sounds like it's vulnerable, but you started to begin to learn about 1.5, 2 years old to not trust people and what they say. You would hear what they say, but it was never what they do. It was always the opposite. And you were just like, I can't. And so your 2-year-old self says, I can't trust these people. Okay. And you'd start to feel helpless because somehow they would use their loftiness to tell you how things are and what things are going to be. And you weren't sure how to defend yourself. So when you started to face the world, you only started to, mirror what you learned. And as you grow into your spirituality, you're going to feel, wait a minute, I don't feel like this anymore. I don't want to use that. But the helplessness little girl inside of you says, but I'm still here. And so I would definitely want to heal that little girl inside of yourself. And I would end up using hope therapy. Because what she would do is that if you didn't act like you're helpless, then they seem to act more mean, if that makes sense. Give me some feedback, because part of this is new to how I talk and operate. Okay. So Rihanna said that it's about when her parents separated, and that can be huge because it may not make any sense to a 2-year-old. But you, as a child experiencing that moment, have to scramble around and make sense with that little dictionary in your mind, all the little information you do have, to make sense of your world, because you haven't been out here long enough to gather information. So what they're saying is they want you to be able to create that tribe and better friendship with people, is to allow yourself to heal that helpless little girl, and heal that you distrust people, because I feel like this is a particular pattern. And if you're having problems keeping friends in your life, keeping a family to understand you, then understand that this is probably the result of that pattern. Again, EFT, make an appointment. Maybe one day we could do some type of healing live, but it needs to be healed. It says, your safety blanket is to have this loftiness. To all people? No. It's when you feel like you're getting burned. So it's not like you lofted over everybody. It is just when you feel like you're in that position. And they say that you have particular pictures. And what I call eye accessing is that you'll have a picture in one eye that's stronger than the other about this story. And if you were to cover up one eye and look at it, you could actually begin to feel it. And there's a whole process of healing that can actually pull out those pictures, which also helps break down the chemical peptides. So no longer do you have to feel it or think it. Now, what's it do? It changes everything around you so that you are more safer. It's not about becoming more vulnerable. You're already vulnerable with all of your issues. Okay, let's see, anything else? You just have to understand that awkwardness is hooked into it too. So you have clues and triggers that says, as soon as I feel this and I feel this, and we can disrupt those patterns. You don't have to have the whole strategy play out. You can actually change it. And then spirituality gets to come in. Okay, that's good. All right, hopefully you like that and share with your friends and all of this. And I have to read what Miss Lenny, I think. The next person is Olivia. Oh yeah, Olivia. Hello, dear. Are you here? Just want to make sure you also have 7 minutes, which is set. So as soon as we see Olivia, no, I don't see her yet. But then again, I don't know how much of a lag there is. I'm getting more on top of this comment thing. Okay. So Olivia, if you come back, then new comment came in. And will it scroll? Come on. Any day now, this thing will cooperate. Ah, there she is. Gotcha. That one. Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you for that comment. All right. So, Olivia, if you got a question, or if you want to just, I can do a cold read like I just done. Or if you want a particular healing too with it, then we can do that. Whew. I'm sure it's gotten hotter than 95 in here, or 35. Okay. So while she decides if she just wants me to do a straight read, she gave me a heart. Not sure if what that means, but I'm just going to go. And if you have a particular question, we'll go for it. Whew. Okay, you got a lot of people coming in. Wow. It is definitely family. Grandma is very strong. Can't tell you what side, but more people on that side of the family are arriving and holding hands. We got some pets coming in. I don't know if you had a birdie or if you knew somebody that had a birdie. Oh, it's a cute birdie. I love birds. Wow, okay, I'm going to have to put them in the chute, so that, come on, get down to one person to talk at once. Because if whatever it is you want her to know, y'all have to agree upon it. Clear my mind. Oh, you guys are just funny. Somebody thought they were going through a hot flash. And I heard the word die. So I don't know how they died, but never mind. They thought they were going through a hot flash. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. but it's like they couldn't catch their breath. They lost their sense of smell. I don't need to know how that process is. Do you have a name for how you died? Well, don't. Okay, so now she's pointing into someone over here saying, well, they choked to death. I want to know what you did. You don't quite know. They said it was a heart attack? But you had no idea. Whoever it is had no freaking idea how they died. They just know that they were going through a hot flash. Woo-wee. She said. She. All right, so again, she, oh, nice. We just got an extra minute or two. Waterfalls. Water. I see a cascading of water, so it's definitely a waterfall. They really are playing with my senses right now. They said you were really repulsed by somebody and you let him get away. I don't know what that means. They had a particular attitude that they did. They had a lofty attitude, if my understanding is right. Oh, somebody just turned the fan on for me on the other side. Thank you, guys. Who took action? She did? They did. They were an action type person. They were very lofty in their nature of how they did things. Their way was always the right way. So they were an ego. I feel tall. Well, I don't know if I want to say tall, maybe broad. I feel a man. I feel somebody that carried the male energy. Doesn't have to always necessarily be a man. It can be someone that has a very strong yang energy, but forceful in nature to some degree. Oh, what about a ring? They're showing me a ring. Can't tell you what gem it is. It kind of reminds me of labradorite, an emerald, whatever. The joke is kiss the ring. So was there a movie? I can't remember the movie. I'm not good with that. All right, so I don't know if you know who it is, but I'm going to ask them again. You only have a few minutes left. What message do you guys? You want to say hello? And pretty much everybody that's over there, they're doing great, man. They're happy. They love you. They're not the same type of assholes that they were when they were here. Letting it all out. He said, I'm so sorry I made you become very self-conscious of yourself. Something about the way that you dressed. I don't know if it made you paranoid or what, but it was like, oh, and when they do a life review, they look at how they responded, but they also get to look through the other eyes of the person that they hurt. And so they get to see many different perspectives. This is what they've always told me. But this is how they saw themselves. They said, please get over that self-consciousness that you have. So the question is, do you have self-conscious? If not, it is thinking that people are looking at you and thinking bad stuff about you, and you feel like their eyes are invading in your space. And it has to do with a whole bunch of information. I don't know if you're confused or they're confused, but it is, you're constantly asking, am I doing the right thing? Okay, when you start to go out into the world, and you start to look at different cultures and different people and different ages and different studies, you're going to find out there's not really a right way or a wrong way. There's the way you define it and how you want to live the right way that you want to live. And there are certain rules and things that you wouldn't want to kill anybody. But how some people say this is the right way to do it is that there's many ways to do math, and then there are different formulas to do math. But some people actually see it differently. And I'll end up talking to people, and I'm saying the exact same thing they're saying, but they're saying it the way that they were trained. I've seen it from another perspective and saying it. So, oh, yes, okay. Whew. So, he wants those paradigms, those old belief systems to go. And he says if he were to really look at it, it'd be for shame on him to believe his culture is who he is. Grandma said, "Do you want a cookie?" I don't know what kind of cookie you liked, but cookie. They says there's a whole pattern. You go into panic. Okay. What happens is it creates a heart wall. Now, if you hang in there, you guys, I'm going to tell you, you're going to need to get a magnet, or you can use your hand. But sometimes just a regular refrigerator magnet, that will do just fine. You know, regular refrigerator magnet. But because we're doing it together, then we can do it. Now, if you want this healing, then all you have to do is take your hand, and you're going to start here, and then you're going to just run your hand down like this. And you'll do it as many times as I tell you. Since it's a heart wall, then we'll do it 10 times. And we're going to think heart wall, and this emotion is tied to your heart wall, failure. So since I can't see you, I'm going to trust that you're going to do this. Physically do this. You don't have to have a magnet. Just you can use your hand. Don't matter. Okay. 10 times, and you're going to think heart wall, failure. Heart wall, failure. Heart wall, failure. Now breathe in and out. Heart wall, failure. Heart wall, failure. Well, I see I felt that shift. Heart wall, failure. 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 Now what's interesting is that I just saw a whole bunch of information go through. Oops. Okay, so before we get on to the next read, and that heart wall, is it still there? No. Now, if you have failure that comes up at any other time, you just see emotional freedom technique. You can look that up. I will have my website up. It's on YouTube. I have it under Medicine Woman Healing Tools, and you'll see that I made a video of it. I'm just double checking and processing. They're saying, bye. Does somebody just go to Hawaii? I don't know if you are, or I just saw a leg getting thrown at you. And then Grandma had a bag of cookies. Blondies? What are those? I don't know. They smell good. Okay. Geez, that makes me want a sugar cookie or something. All right, little button, please move. All right, so Olivia said, yeah, she agreed. Okay. Lofty, lovely, but arrogant. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, you can tap that out as far as questioning yourself. You can tap that out. Come on, move, you. I'd like to have magical powers there. See? Yay, Jennifer's back. Awesome. Okay, so we officially did our first mini healing with a reading, and it can be that simple. Energetically, it takes and changes it. This is your governing meridian. You normally want it to go from the bottom up, meet here, and then this one is central, it comes and meets here. When you have your field, morphogenic field, then all the emotions can get trapped into the governing meridian. It governs your body. It governs the rest of the meridians. And when you begin to take out that with a magnetic, because you're an electromagnetic being, you're using intention, and that's what you're doing is you're thinking, is that you can really change how all that works, if that makes sense. Now, Olivia said the most invigorating feeling. My body just shivered while I did that. Heart wall failure. See, and those is trained responses, and eventually, when we don't understand why certain things are, we make up a heart wall. But that's just a small step of what we can do as far as help clean out. So again, when failure shows up, that'll be your lesson. EFT it out, do other things, make an appointment with me, because you may have pictures of failure, but you can do it. All right, so our last person that I need new glasses. Okay, so Lenny, somehow my thing didn't put up, so just put up the person. Well, why is this got glitchy? Okay, you spirit people, don't touch the machine, okay? No touchy. All right, well, we'll see what happens there. So, healing is such an awesome thing, especially when you don't have to be controlled anymore. It means that the experience no longer controls you. You get your will back. You get your willpower back, if that makes any sense. Okay, so she has drawn the name of, I need a last name. Who's that? Because what if there's two of those people? Hold on, I have to wait for her to come up there. Okay, so we'd like to do this twice a week. It is to start off. It could be Tuesday and Friday. I am not sure. I think 9 o'clock, because it gets so hot here. I have no air or circulating, so it can get very hot. So I think that's good. About an hour to hour and a half. So Robin, I'm not sure if do we have more than one Robin, or is there another? I have to wait for Lenny to tell me who was on the little sheet of paper. But we're going to figure out all these things. We're going to have different kinds of games, maybe. I don't know. Oh, shades. Robin, shades. Robin, don't go. I'm watching next time. No. Robin, did you leave? Hello. All right, we'll give it a second. We'll see if Robin is still here, because I can't tell if she left. I'm still learning how all these work. So Robin, if you are there, Robin Shades. Oh, if she left just moments before I said her name. Oh. Excuse me. Oh, good Lord. So I never know who's going to come through. I was going to grab a card real quick on. Oh, okay. New comment. Who is it? Okay. Robin. Oh, yay. She's here. Okay. Yay. Okay, good. So we're going to do a read. Okay, so you get 10 minutes because you're the last of the thing tonight. You can have a healing as well, or you can just have a reading. You got a question, or you can just do a cold read. Or you can see who pops in and see what they want to say. You know, we never know how it goes. You just got to decide. Give me a little head back or heads up. Yes, I'm here. Okay, so I'm just going to start, and then if you have something, just here we go. Ooh. You're got a lot of scrambled energy. A lot of scrambled energy. What happens when our brain becomes scrambled is that we can wipe ourselves out, or we can wipe the other people out, but we just can't get it together. And there's a wonderful healing tool that I think it's important that you do. Like right now, so I can still give you a reading without doing the healing, but you're going to feel so much better once you become unscrambled. Okay, now you're not gonna be able to see the bottom half of me, but I mean, you're gonna just have to trust. And this is called a Wayne Cook posture. Donna Eden from Energy Medicine, teaches this, but I also have made a video of it, And there's several ways of doing it. So you're going to end up crossing your ankles and your wrist. So if I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to cross it over, I'm going to take my right foot and cross it over. Then my ankles are done. So now I've crossed my ankles. You're going to turn and grab. If you're unable to do that, again, do. If you can't do that, then you just do, I can just do this, right? Okay. But you can do that. Important that when you breathe, you try to get the air down your stomach. So your stomach's going to want to come out, but you're also straightening the spine. You want to breathe nice and deep. I can feel it twitching already. That's good. Good 7 breaths, maybe just on this side. Ooh, I feel the spinal fluid going up. I can see T11, no, higher, T10 maybe. It's like a kink in it. Now you're going to undo, and then you're just going to swap. And then you're going to swap your ankles. So undo them and then just cross it the other way. A good 7 breaths, again, nice and deep. Oh, they said, it's getting more crystal clear. She has rainbow children. I don't know if you have children or not, but you have a lot of rainbow energy running around. It could be even animals, who knows? Now, I'm not trying to spite your house. They're just showing me pictures. Almost. One more. And then you're going to undo your ankles, undo your wrists, and you're going to put your hands like this. You know, your thumb. Okay. Nope. Open it up. And then, you know, you see where your eyebrows are? Just right in the middle. Now, because you gave me permission, I see I have to scan you. Right here, right there where the occipital is, right down here, right there at the bottom, the base. Have you ever fallen? Were you born where they yanked on your head? It's jammed. You have energy that's jammed. And when you interact with the environment, you kind of squish down. So this could just be poor posture. Nope. Interact in environment. Tell me more. It's her bones. So do you got a good healthy spine? Oh, probably if I wish the comment thing would scroll itself. All right, so interact with me, Robin. Interact with me. People that have agendas. Okay, so anybody that really has an agenda really affects you the most. I feel like you live with one. So sorry. Don't mean to say stuff like that. It's a very much of a habit of your posture, of how you sit, but it's about your reaction to this person. It's like when somebody's going to scold you, you turn your head, whatever. That's just an example, but you have a tendency to, so I'm just going to ask a little bit further. They say that what you see coming at you worries you. When you begin to worry, that you distrust and you feel like you're going to be attacked. What happens is that it's affecting your spleen meridian. And I'm going to tell you, when you are in that situation, it's going to sound weird and strange, but what's important is that right at the bra line, yeah, here, okay, because the spleen comes up and down. There's a point. You can look under spleen 21, and you're going to rub those both sides. This is good. Oh, man, this one does so much wonderful work inside the body. But you need to get that spleen to get that energy moving again. There's other points like a source point, which I don't think I can get my foot up that high because I got too many stands here. So you look up spleen 3. Spleen 3. And it should be on the side of the foot where that big bump is. So here's your big toe, okay? And then you have that big knot. Spleen 3 would be right there on your big toe, on the inside of the foot. That's a source point. I highly suggest rubbing that on both your feet and rubbing here. We need to get that energy moving so you don't always have to feel, because you go right into that strategy. And so now your body is starting to conform to with that particular thing that happens to you. You started doing this behavior when you were about 6 years old, so you may not even be physically aware that you're doing it now, but just become aware of when people do come at you, then you can begin to retrain your body to stop responding that way. Again, if it's not consciously going on here, it'll physically be going on here, which then causes you to spin out, which then causes you to become scrambled. We want to unscramble that, if that makes sense. Do the Wayne posture every day. Like I said, you can go to YouTube, Medicine Woman Healing Tools. I'm going to eventually have my website back up and running. I'm not sure why it's down, but nutrition seems to be affecting you. We only got 2 minutes left. Why? Because it equals, it's called an engram. What is it equal to? Ooh. So you must have a lot of people that you approach, and when you go to talk to them or you're afraid to talk to them, then you have a lot of nasty people that are just, you don't know how they're going to respond. They may respond negatively, but I feel like you've had that in your life. And it is definitely a lot of experience that you've had. Oh, if you worry a lot, okay. I want you to understand you're going to start doing this. Okay? This forehead. These 2 points. It's called, oh my God. That was pretty good focus in and out. You have a hairline. That is your liver meridian that helps chemical processes. Okay, so it processes out the chemical peptides. And if you put your hand like this, then you're going to get this top point that has to do with emotions. And you can just go just like this, or you can go just like this. But either way, think about the worry. Put it on a scale from 0 to 10. That's also a healing tool, the Oh My God healing tool. And then just stay there, okay? And you eventually, the worrying process will come down. Now, there's many other tools that we can do to help that thought processing, but your spleen and stomach are going ape. You know, they don't know how to calm down. And I would definitely say do some breathing. And the timer's going to ring, but what I want you to do is to breathe in. And as you breathe out, and then you're going to, this is important, I want you to breathe all the way out where you make your stomach come in and up. Okay, so you go, that last push pushes all the air out. And as you push your stomach in and up with your muscles, and you hold your breath, give it a good 5 seconds, and then let it out. Do that a couple times. What it does is it helps to reset the autonomic nervous system. So you can stop going into fight and flight, where it's sympathetically, you actually go into rest and digest. And when you start to go into rest and digest, the blood and the energy starts to change. Okay. I hope you all liked tonight's reading and what I had to say and all this other stuff. Okay, hold on. Again, I'll deal with you in just a minute. Hold on. Share, because the more people that I get, the more I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have it so that you can expedite readings, so you can have it, because we're going to have the share process, and then you can have a free reading, but also you can have expedite readings specifically for healing and things like this, so that you can just jump on and we'll take care of all the expedites first, and then we will do the free reading. We don't know if it's 1 or 3. We don't know how the program is going to be. Holy cow, it's hot in here. Okay, so the person that's talking in my ear right now, they're very pushy. Yeah, and then these people, they're not really from the dark as much as they are very determined. And what happens is that they have to, the cue is here. And this person knows that I'm going to shut down this live feed. They don't want to, because they really want to talk to, they want a particular outcome. So who is it you want to talk to? Apparently there is a male. Is there a male in the room? A man in the room that's in the, what do you call it? The live feed? Because there is a particular, is it a man that's in? He says, well, it's his brother, but I don't know if you're here. I don't. You're welcome, Olivia. Are you male or female? Okay, so he's trying to speak for several people on that side. So he's trying to show up with this particular energy field to communicate. And the point is that, Michael, are you in the room? Okay, so Michael, if you're in the room, I want you to understand that you have a brother. Now, what I don't understand is they said that there's somebody of color. I don't know if they said they are, you are, or you know somebody of color, but I'm not sure where this reading's going to. Maybe you know them as female. I don't know. What is it you want to say? Wait a minute. Are you trying to match make? That's funny. Okay, so whoever it is on the other side wants this person to find love. They want no more pining. You need to be educated about the other side. When the person dies, first of all, it's their level of understanding of what heaven or hell is. And so when they get to that other side, they're going to have this little mini mansion type thing, their mansion. Okay, that's one thing. And what happens is that they will begin to feel this frequency and this energy, and then when they start to, and they can go or can go immediately. It depends on what their soul's chosen. But what occurs is that instantly they start to feel this rush of love. A dog. You want to match make? Well, come up front so I can. All right, not that close to my throat. Okay, just a second. I'm having lots to say, wants to say, I love you, I'm sorry, it happened, I'm sorry. Wow. If you only could see me, I could see you. You're awesome. All right, you're being general. What do you want to know? Or I mean, what do you want to tell her? Her? Okay, we're going to tell her. You have a program that you're interacting with of uncertainty. And you're feeling that you'll be disloyal to me if you proceed. You become very self-conscious of what, oh, they're going to say it. They're going to say, oh my God, is that too soon? Oh, you kick those people out of your head. Just kick them out of your head. And if you can't, use a tool. You have to understand that you go into panic, but you're not here to live for them. You're going to find your voice and you're going to learn to live for you and thrive. Because nobody can tell you how long it takes or how the process is to get over anyone. And if these people that are in your space are that rude and crude, then you need to somehow step away. If that makes sense. If you can. A lot of people will tell themselves, I can't. Go find a group of friends to help support you. Okay? Now you're messing with my camera. Maybe stand over here. Like you said, back there. Not sure, but he wants to give you a puppy. Fat little thing. Yep, has fresh dog smell. That's not the way to do it. What? So have you got a dog? Or you're thinking of getting a dog so that you can move on? No. That's not, it's not, I guess I'd say not recommending that. He's trying to tell you. He is trying to tell you that, okay, he's going back to the animal. Do you want her to get an animal? Yes, but don't get it for the wrong reason. You could be going down the shelter and all of a sudden, ooh, there's somebody there you could be getting to know. You go out and live, but be open. Now, if your heart has been broken because of the loss, I'm going to tell you, my boyfriend died. I watched him die like right in front of me. Long story short, okay, and I'll eventually tell you that story some other time. I didn't have healing tools. It took me 2 years. I finally woke up and I'm graduated from high school and now I'm in college and I'm in accounting. What the hell? No. Jumped out and said, I'm not doing it anymore. And then now I have healing tools. My mother died. My mother and father-in-law passed. All these different people. And the more that I understand death, the more that I understand it, I'll tell you, when I have healing tools and I understand, I just lost my sweet little birdie, well, 2 of them. You can let yourself feel. Nothing wrong with that. But when it starts to own you, when it starts to take your identity away, when that becomes your identity, then you feel like you're lost. Literally, I would say make an appointment with me. And we will take you through the steps because this is where it gets to be, you won't even understand, but there are words that are layered upon top of each other. And when we start to break that down and that emotion starts to calm down and the thoughts start to calm down, your heart begins to open up again. And you need to heal that shame and that guilt because they don't need to live in our space. I hope that makes sense. Oh, hit the comment, Brenda. Oh. What he said, hit the comment. Ooh, well, that's what you said. Well, I didn't hear you. Okay, he's looking into the camera. He says he's gotten more goofier ever since he passed. Yeah. And again, if you have a trouble with it, then you understand that emotion is going to keep you blocked. And those emotions, like I said, we are human beings, but you can process those and you will feel much better, because the more that you begin to heal the pain and the suffering, the more you can actually hear more of the other side. At first, I never heard my boyfriend. And then after I started to really heal all these emotions, now he's right over there. You just think of them and they pop in the room. And my mother, oh, hi all. My whole family is on that side. Oh, always supporting. They're always supporting. He says, don't be surprised if you find flowers. Any particular kind? Maybe roses or something, whatever your favorite kind is. Don't be surprised if you start seeing pictures or outlines or real ones, or smell them, because he's deliberately putting those type of markers there, if that makes sense. So anyway, love you, love you, love you. That's what they're saying. Him in the group of, what do you got? 12? Some you don't know. I don't know who you are. But anyway, picture shot. I wish you could take and make family pictures, selfies over there. Just know that they're having just as much fun. There's a lot of ooh. I don't know if you get a pillow or not. Oh, of course you do. If there's like a smell, or you need a smell, or you want a smell, put lavender on it. I think maybe you'll start getting more relaxed and connect with them. He is definitely the strongest, I can tell you that much right now. But he also was elected, well, he volunteered to talk for the group. Okay, there they go. I like when they come in like that, and I just wish I could get more details, but then when you got everybody here. All right, thank you so much. What I want again, we'd like to do this twice a week, probably after 9 or 9:30. I don't know if I can ever get this thing to work sometimes. I'm getting better and better at it. We will have free readings at the end, as long as you share. And the more people that I get, the more that, maybe we'll do more videos. Not sure how all these are going to work. I do know I'm a teacher and I talk about spirituality. I'm a healer. I help people connect and to heal. I talk to the other side. I can help you talk to their side, but don't ask specific things, because it's whatever they want to come in, because that channel comes in and just and sometimes I have to just put them in a chute, and then a representative will stand forward. But all the information comes from a bandwidth, so on a grid, so that it is a very healthy energy, if that makes sense. We're all clear here. Spirit's about ready to drop me. All right. I love you all. I appreciate you all being here today. And I want to do more and more of this. So I'm excited. As soon as I figure out how to get this all to work, then I'll have a website up so that we can just start learning to interact more. I will have classes, videos, and other things. That is in the development. I'm even created my front yard. It was a labyrinth, changed it to a maze, but it's like a 7 chakra maze. But we're even thinking about making it into a board game. I don't know. I have thousands of ideas that are always coming through. Thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you again. I used to have a tagline, didn't I? I don't know. I have to listen to my old videos. All right. Love you, see ya, and stay blessed. Oops.